Sure, yeah, you can do a spring clean, but can you also do an autumn clean? Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I'm taking you through a little stack of books that is coming off my shelf this season. I've either read them and I haven't been super enamored by them, I've read something by the same author and I just know that it's not going to work out for me, or it's just time to clear out some shelf space. I did do a little unhaul a couple of months ago and I haven't actually brought any of the books that were in that to the library just yet. There were a couple that I wanted to give away to a couple of friends, so those have already gone out. But the books that I wanted to go to the library are still sitting in my house. So I'm hoping that if I have actually filmed this unhaul, now that I have a little bit of a bigger stack to bring out, maybe it will spur me on to actually bring these books to a new home. First up is two books from the same author. I've read one, and when I had read it and I DNF'd it, I knew that I wouldn't really enjoy the other. Those two books are Love in the Time of Serial Killers and With Love from Cold World by Alicia Thompson. I DNF'd Love in the Time of Serial Killers back in July. It just didn't work for me. I think it was the writing style that was a little bit too clunky. I couldn't get on board with Phoebe, the main character. So I'm pretty sure that if the writing style in With Love from Cold World is going to be quite similar to this, it's probably just not going to be a book that's going to work for me. I will definitely bring this to my local library. I know that there's going to be a couple of people here who might really enjoy to read it, but it's just not going to work out for me. A book that it genuinely pains me to give away is A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. This was one of my most anticipated books of the entire year. And I'll go into a little bit more in my September wrap up, but this didn't work for me for a couple of reasons. I felt like this book was written by somebody else, but had Ashley Poston's name on the front cover. It felt completely different to The Dead Romantics and to The 7-Year Slip. I read it through basically because my friends asked me to kind of take one for the team and to do it for them. And that's really the only reason that I didn't give up on this as easily as I should have. It just wasn't the book that I wanted it to be. I absolutely loved the story idea, but the execution just didn't work. Another anticipated one that sadly I'm going to be getting rid of is Love Me Do by Lindsay Kelk. I absolutely love Lindsay Kelk's books. I've really loved her writing for the last couple of years, but I just couldn't gel with this one. I think it was a combination of the story being a little bit too far-fetched at times, and also Belle, one of the characters that you're following quite a bit, I really couldn't get on board with her at all. I found her to be really irritating and a completely different person in any different type of scenario. And when you're reading about a character who's so changeable and so different any situation that they're in, it just really doesn't grab me as a person who is so character-driven as a reader. This wasn't the most recent Lindsay Kelk book, but it did take me over a year to get to it, and I think that that's kind of a sign in itself. I am also going to be saying goodbye to Emma Disappeared by Andrew Hughes. I DNF'd this at about the 200-page mark, so maybe about 70 or 75% of the way through the book, because there was something in there that once I had seen it being written down, I just couldn't get past that anymore. But also, there were a couple of things about this book that I didn't really enjoy. I DNF'd it in August, so I will go back to it in my September wrap-up. But when you're reading a thriller, and most of the story doesn't actually involve solving this thriller and getting to the basis of what that was about, it's not really a well-written thriller in my eyes, and I needed a little bit more action in this book. I'm also getting rid of The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Ogava. This was fine. I didn't really hate this book. It's just that it's a book I know that I'm not going to go back to. I read this in June for the buzzword because the buzzword-a-thon for June was repeating letters in the title. Other than that, I probably wouldn't have read it. I wouldn't have picked it up so quickly. It does have quite a lot of mathematics in it, and that's not something that my brain is very good at processing. I am not a numbers person. So that did put me off it a little bit, and I don't know if it's one that I'm ever going to go back to. But I do know that there's going to be people out there who love numbers and who love counting and will absolutely love this book. Finally, I am getting rid of Good Material by Dolly Alderton. Again, I really enjoyed this book. It was actually a 4-star when I read it. It's just that I know I'm not going to go back into it. If I do, I'll probably listen to the audiobook of it. That's how I had the book at the first time. And I really enjoyed the delivery of the narrators, especially from Vanessa Kirby, who plays Jen. I just know that if I do go back to this book, it's probably not going to be as a written one, so I'm going to just head it over to my local library and someone can pick it up there. That is the contribution to the stack that I'm going to bring to the local library in a couple of days. When you get rid of books, where is it that you bring them to? If you'd love to leave me a comment, but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, then just leave me the wave goodbye emoji so that we can give these books the send-off they deserve. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.